We are at the New Egypt Comic and Toy Show. Comic-Con Palooza continues, week 4.
Yes.
We're halfway through the 8-week Comic-Con Palooza.
And it is early on a Sunday morning here in New Egypt, New Jersey.
Brian is going to buy me Fantastic number 1 today, I think.
I don't know if that's...
today's the day. You're making money now. I keep giving you money. What are you spending? We'll see you inside. Yes, Comic-Con Palooza continues with week 4.
Yep.
It was a good one. We bought some stuff that we haven't bought in a long time. We looked through a lot of things. We bought a lot of comic books. Comic-Con Palooza in full swing.
Yeah. Got some cool stuff. Saw some cool things.
We certainly did. Spoke to some of our friends.
Like Greg from Nukem and Phantasm.
Made some new friends.
We did?
We did. We're going to go visit another store. You'll see it later on.
Okay.
Make sure you stay with us.
I missed that part.
Yeah, you did. Make sure you stay with us. We see what we bought that we haven't bought in a long time. So, New Egypt Comic Book and Toy Show. This is our 4th time there.
Yes.
4th time. It's really well balanced. The first 2 weeks at Comic-Con Palooza, we went to some conventions, and the conventions were primarily toys.
Yep.
We were disappointed. Last week we went to one, and it was almost exclusively comic books. We were very happy. This week, I think that New Egypt is one of the most well-balanced small conventions we go to.
Definitely is.
There are a lot of toys, vintage toys, new toys, lots of comic books.
There were a lot of comic vendors. A lot of comic vendors.
A lot of dollar bins.
And what I liked about even when just talking about the toy selection for a moment, we saw stuff that you don't usually see out and around that much.
Yeah.
You know, the King Kong NECA. A lot of Japanese
He had that whole Godzilla. That one guy only sells. Actually, he sells Godzilla and
King Kong.
And he has the Lego figures too, right?
Yes, I believe he does.
So he does
a lot of customizing.
He does a lot of customizing, and he's always in the same spot that we've been there.
Yeah.
The comic book vendors seems to have changed. The funny part about New Egypt is there's a lot of comic book vendors that have stores.
Yes.
And there's also weekend warrior vendors.
Right.
The guys who only sell on the weekends. They don't have stores. They don't have any other place where they sell. They take what they have and they sell at these conventions. They're some of my favorite vendors because their prices are always really good. They're looking to sell.
Yeah.
So we saw vintage Star Wars. There's one guy had, I think Tinker Toys has vintage Star Wars stuff.
Plenty of that, yeah.
Plenty. I was tempted, but we were very focused on comic books.
You stuck to the comics this time.
Kind of. I bought something that wasn't. You'll see what it is. I was very, very tempted. It was hard, and I'm going to regret it. They had those old DC puzzles.
Yes. Oh, the wooden ones.
The wooden puzzles.
Yeah. You don't see those a lot.
I do not, and I was very close to pull the trigger, but I didn't because where am I putting them?
There was a Batman and Robin one.
And a Shazam.
The Shazam one, yes, was right behind.
What am I doing with those?
I like the Shazam one.
Me too.
It looked like 40 Shazam.
And we spoke with the vendor there. He has a YouTube channel. He was a really nice guy. We chatted with him for quite a while. He's a weekend warrior. He sells stuff on the weekend. Doesn't have a store. Doesn't really, do a lot of shows. He does that show. The tables are $70 at New Egypt, so it's a good place to sell your stuff if you're looking for somewhere to sell. I'm going to kick myself that I didn't buy those puzzles. I know it. They had those Universal Monster puzzles too that you should have bought.
Yes, they did. The 200-piece ones.
Yes.
Yeah, those are nice. I don't know if they were like the illustrations of Gray Morrow.
Okay.
Or was it James Bama who did the boxes and the Aurora models? I would definitely consider.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they weren't ones that you were interested in.
Right. Yeah.
You like those Hulk Funko Pops also?
Oh yeah, they had that giant Immortal Hulk, and only because I really like that series so much, Immortal Hulk. Like, I don't read a lot of Hulk comics, but I really, really liked Immortal Hulk.
So why didn't you buy it?
I don't know. Just space.
A space too?
Space issues. Yeah.
And the Marvel Treasury comics that you are in love with.
Oh, but those were very expensive. I thought they were pricey.
$50 a piece.
Yeah, because you can get those at $25 in a lot of places.
And you know my feel on those.
Yeah, they're hard to store.
Where am I putting them?
Right. Those would be things you'd have to display. But that one I saw, the Bicentennial one.
Right, that's the big one.
That, I'd never seen that one before. And I've seen a lot of the others around. But that Bicentennial one, I was like, I never saw it before.
We'll have to keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, but like I said, I've seen places where you can get those for $25.
Yeah. And that, if you remember a while back, that was one of the problem ones I had at the flea market. They had one at a flea market, and the guy wanted $50 for it, and it was a flea market.
Yeah,
and it was outside, and it was banged up. And that goes back to our whole flea market episode where I don't like buying stuff at a flea market because it sits outside and it's hot. It's hot. It gets
the temperature, the moisture. Yeah, it ruins it all.
So that's the Treasury Edition. I don't own any of the originals. I bought some of the reprints that DC's put out recently, but I don't own any of the originals. So
I liked some of the ones they put out recently. They had the Superman fighting Muhammad Ali with all the people in the crowd. You can go through and pick out all kind of creators.
It's just those Treasury Editions have a special place in the late 1970s, but I don't know where am I putting them.
I bought something that's sort of similar to that in a way.
Maybe you'll buy one at some point.
Maybe.
Cassidy wasn't with us, but I bought her some comic books, so she has a haul. So let's look at Cassidy's haul.
Thanks, Dad. So, as he said, I was not at the convention with them, but he did grab me a pretty nice stack of Star Wars comics. So, he didn't have my list with him, so he didn't know what I had and didn't have. There is only one comic in what he grabbed me that I already have. So, well, let's go through the small haul that he got me. So first we have Star Wars Jedi Council 3 of 4. And then Star Wars Jedi Council 4 of 4. Then we got Star Wars Tales from Mos Eisley. Then Star Wars X-Wing Rogue Squadron, The Warrior Princess. So from the Warrior Princess story, this is 2 of 4. Then Warrior Princess 3 of 4. Just more runs that I need to finish up. Then X-Wing Rogue Squadron Battlegrounds Tatooine. So this is 4 of 4. So I guess I have to get the first 3. Then X-Wing Rogue Squadron Battlegrounds Tatooine. This is 3 of 4. Oh, I did that a little out of order. Then Star Wars Union 4 of 4. I actually do already have, I have the whole Union, all 4 of them. So I guess I will be using this to cut up and make art. So, exciting. Okay, then we got Star Wars Tales of the Jedi, The Golden Age of the Sith. So this is 3 of 5 for this story. Then we got Tales of the Jedi, The Golden Age of the Sith 4 of 4. 4 of 5. Not lastly. I thought we had another run. I didn't. Star Wars Tales of the Jedi, The Sith War, 6 of 6. So I'm going to have to get the first 5 because I don't have any in this collection. But this is also key number 1. This is the first appearance of Mandalore the Ultimate. So, first key in this run. Will there be any more? We shall see. Star Wars Prelude to Rebellion. So this is 2 of 6 for this run. Then we got Star Wars 21, but it's Twilight 3 of 4, so they have short stories in this run. And all of these have been Dark Horse. And actually, every comic that he grabbed is Dark Horse, but let me finish it. So, Star Wars Splinter of the Mind's Eye, 3 of 4. And actually on the back is advertised Star Wars Shadow of the Empire. I would say that this is probably one of my favorite Star Wars comic runs. I have a graphic novel of this. It's one of my favorite stories. Growing up, I just loved that story. Okay, and then lastly, we have Star Wars Jedi Academy Leviathan. So this is 4 of 4. So that is the haul. It is all Star Wars Dark Horse comics, which I think we've stated in previous videos. We don't see a lot of Star Wars Dark Horse. We see a lot of the newer Marvel runs. So, very happy with this Dark Horse. And I wasn't even there to pick them up. So, my dad did a very good job of grabbing what I like. Yeah, so very happy with Dark Horse. You don't often see that in the dollar bin. At least, not at the conventions we've been going to. I don't see a lot of Star Wars Dark Horse. So, this is a very, very nice stack of comics, and I'm very happy that he grabbed them for me. So, back to you.
Cassidy did miss out that she wasn't there because they did have a vendor who had a bunch of Star Wars paperback books.
Yeah.
We never see those.
And a lot of Star Trek books,
A lot of Star Trek books, too. So he has, and he's a nice guy, too. He watches the show, so.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I spoke with him. He knew who we were. He's, you know, he had watched them. There's actually quite a few vendors there who knew who we were because they watch our show. The guy who runs it is also named Chad. He watches the show, too, and of course, you said before, Greg was there. We love Greg the Ghoul.
Greg the Ghoul's there.
He's one of our favorite vendors. Before we get into the hall, let's look at what the floor looks like. So as you see, lots of different stuff throughout the whole entire show.
Yeah.
Like, none of the vendors are the same. I love that there's guys who sell comic books and toys and other collectibles all within the same table.
Yeah.
And the one guy who had the lunch boxes,
Yeah.
he had a lot of different. He had like 3 tables of comics. He had a bunch of vintage toys, and I bought something from him, a vintage toy you'll see when we get to the hall, and it was a great price, and we'll tell you the story about that. I really enjoy New Egypt. I really like how it's so diverse.
It's the kind of show that we like because you can walk around fairly easily. There's a lot of different things. You see stuff that you don't see in a lot of other places. So yeah, it was a fun show to go to.
Something for everyone, and it's $5 to get in. But when you pay that $5, you get like a gift.
Yeah, you get free comics.
So you know how we feel about that. You get a gift. It's worth $5 to get a gift, and we didn't open our gifts, so we'll open our gifts.
I opened mine.
Oh, I didn't open mine. Brian opened his already.
I did open mine to see what I got.
You ruined the video.
I
Video
did.
ruined by Brian.
Once again.
So we did. We had a good time. I did buy a wall book, so before we get into Brian's haul, let's look at what the wall books look like at New Egypt. So let's get where everybody wants to go, to our haul.
Yep.
Brian, start us off.
Okay, so one of the things I grabbed from the dollar bin was this signed black and white cover. Well, it's actually a 2002 convention special, so it's not really a comic, but it's got a lot of concept art in it from when they tried to bring the Micronauts back at Image.
Right.
And this is before IDW had it and a bunch of other people. It didn't work. For some reason, the Micronauts never quite works out wherever it goes.
Because it's not the 70s anymore.
Right. And this is a wild reinterpretation of a lot of characters. because Marvel owns most of the characters from the original series.
Okay.
So only certain characters can be used by other companies. So a lot of our favorite characters from the original Micronauts series are still owned by Marvel.
Who owns the other characters?
Hasbro now.
So how do they determine who owns
If the character was created for the 70s comics by Bill Mantlo,
Marvel?
then Marvel owns them. So characters like Arcturus Wren, Marionette, Beast.
And can Marvel use those characters?
Not Beast, Devil, I think it was called.
Can
Devil.
Marvel use those characters?
Marvel can use those characters anytime they want. They haven't. No.
I see that it's signed. Who's it signed by?
It says Wolf, but I couldn't quite find who that is in here.
It's the guy who sold it to you. He just signed it.
He just signed it, yeah.
Made you think
it was in the dollar bin.
Made you think it was in the dollar bin.
So yeah, it's kind of cool. It's got some cool concept art in it and some interesting things like that. But again, it was from just another attempt to bring Micronauts back that ultimately sort of failed.
Another failed attempt.
Yeah.
All right. What else did you buy?
I also got from the dollar bin. I bought this. It's called Steed and Mrs. Peel. It's a series based on the old Avengers TV show from Britain, which is a show I actually really like. I used to watch it all the time on Nick at Night.
Okay.
And these are a bunch of stories in here by Grant Morrison and a bunch of other people. Just sort of like celebrating the sort of 60s groovy spy thing. It's fun.
Who put that out?
This was put out by Eclipse.
Okay.
Eclipse Books and Acme Press. It's fun. Fun stuff. It looks so much like Diana Rigg on the cover.
Oh, yeah,
Look at that face.
I know the show.
Yeah.
Never watched it.
And it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I got a couple of graphic novels at some very cheap prices. I got Peter Cannon, Thunderbolt, which is a really cool reinterpretation of the old Thunderbolt character from the Golden Age. Really, really fun. Got about halfway through this. Haven't finished it yet. But this has been brought to us.
He's a Carlton character?
I believe he started as a Carlton character. I think so. The main story is written by Steve Darnell and Alex Ross. Illustrations by Jonathan Lau. It's some good stuff.
Cool.
And along those lines, I also got this collection of the old Dr. Solar stories, which used to be put out by Gold Key. And these are some really fun early 60s.
Oh, the actual reprints of the old story?
Yeah, look. It's
nothing new? Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's old.
It's old story.
It's the old Gold Key style. Yeah, comic stuff. And it's really fun because what's really weird, this character doesn't get a costume until like 10 issues in or like 6 issues in. Some crazy number.
Was it that costume that he was? Because I know the Dr. Solar.
He looks like this through most of the series. And then he looks like that.
I know that character's still around today.
Right.
They still put him in comic books today.
Right. But through most of this volume, he looks like that on the cover. He's like a green-skinned man.
Okay.
In a lab coat. Yeah. It's cool. It's kind of early 60s espionage.
You went with some old stuff? Okay.
Yeah. These are the free ones.
Oh, here's my free one, so I guess we can both look at our free ones.
Yeah.
I didn't open mine. Brian opened his
I did.
already.
I wanted to see what was in there. If there was anything good.
And they hide them, so when you first get them, you don't know what you're getting, I guess, so that's when it gets selected, you don't, you know.
So, in my free comics, free comics are usually from the big two.
Amazing Fantasy 15. Wow.
What? I got a Black Panther 39, which was done by Christopher Priest. This is when Christopher Priest was writing it, and on the cover he's fighting Iron Fist. I got this Reign of the Supermen, the Back for Good issue, the end of the Reign of Superman, where Superman shows up with his mullet and finally goes back to being Superman. And I got this Flash 188.
Cool.
Yeah, which is, these are, I think these are going to go to you, because these belong more in your collection, I think.
Yeah, I think I have one for you.
Than what I have.
So, all right, here's what I opened.
Here you go.
Thank you. I opened I got Paradise X Marvel series. Don't know
cool, strange series. Very strange.
I don't know it. Yeah, that's
I'll take that one.
And I guess he knew who I was.
You got
one of the series I'm trying to finish, JLA.
You need that one?
I'm going to have to look. 67 and 77. It would be funny if I bought these at the show too.
Yeah, right.
So that's good. 3 free comics for $5.
And the bunch of that I'm giving you.
That's pretty good. You can't beat the $5 and get free comics.
No.
Well, I see you have something big there.
This was my favorite.
It's not a Treasury edition, though.
This was my favorite purchase of the convention. I'm going to say that right out. And I got this really inexpensively. This is Kirby 5.0.
I love the Kirby thing.
It's one of the special editions of Jack Kirby Collector, which is this large size magazine.
What'd you pay for that?
I think like maybe $10.
That's good for
maybe.
that.
Yeah.
Those things are awesome.
Yeah. Inside you get like a sort of retrospective of Kirby's work. There's some black and white stuff of his covers, and the 50 best examples of unused art.
That's cool.
Yeah. And in the book, you got whole pages in pencils.
Again, I bought a couple of
Pencils and
those
shading.
recently at JHU.
Yeah.
And just, again, where do I put them?
There's such beautiful
so hard
book
to
stuff.
store.
There's such
I mean,
beautiful books.
the art, the
Yeah.
fact that you're getting that full page art.
look at that.
Sandman, full page. It's. I mean, if you're a Kirby fan and you're not buying these, pick them up anytime you see them.
Like you get some really cool
Just something good to look
visions
at.
of his art. And if you look at the cover, this is really interesting. This is a Jack Kirby Superman that he drew in 1984, but was never used anywhere. But later, it was colored and inked by Darwin Cook.
Oh,
Just for
it
this-
does have
just for this
it
book.
has a Darwin Cook.
Yeah, just for
facial
this book. So it's like
face look.
like a magic collaboration between Darwin Cook and Jack Kirby, who
Through the years.
neither one of us are
Neither one
are with us any
Yeah,
longer.
that's
Yeah.
cool. That's
It's really
cool for
good.
$10.
It's very, very
So that's
cool.
kind of some of the stuff you find at New Egypt. You have like some unique stuff.
Oh, wait, look at this. Hold
'Cause
on.
I've never seen those before.
Before I even stop talking about this, which I might never, there's some color inserts in the middle where you can actually see, like, before somebody else started coloring his stuff, his coloring
stuff.
on it.
What is that? The ape.
These are a lot of unused characters that he
Like,
created
that's-
and never made it anywhere. Like this is called
See,
the,
but I'm
the Black
surprised
Pharaoh.
like someone like that, like someone hasn't pulled in somewhere,
Right?
Like and used
He
it.
created the Black Pharaoh, the ape, a few other characters that were never used
Why is
anywhere.
no one picking those up and making comics? Jack Kirby's the ape.
Right. Can you imagine? Oh, look at this.
Something
This is really unusual. This is a collage that Kirby made and used as a background to a Fantastic Four splash page, which I'll show you. It's on the previous page.
Now, if you don't know who Jack Kirby is, Jack Kirby is my favorite comic book artist of all time. But his backgrounds are so intricate that his art is great. It's phenomenal. But the background stuff that he drew is what really makes Jack Kirby stand out. And I pick up a comic book and I know right away if it's Kirby.
Oh, you could see, right away.
It stands out.
You know what? I can't find that. Oh, it's here. It's very small on the page. It's used for Superman, not Fantastic Four. But that collage was used there in that frame.
That is really
as
cool.
background. And I didn't know Kirby did collages, actually. And there's some other examples of his collage work in here. So it's a really cool book.
Brian did well at
Yeah.
New Egypt. That's it. That's your haul.
That's it. A lot of good reading.
Let's get into mine. Here's the one thing I bought that wasn't a comic book. This is the first thing I bought at the convention. We've been talking a lot about Mego figures. So I bought the Mego Green Arrow, and the vendor that had this had a bunch of comic books, had a bunch of toys, and so he had this, and I was like, oh, he didn't have no price on it. So I was like, how much? And he was like, $30. I was like, yep, I'll take it. And he was like, oh. I should have asked for more. Like $30 for this loose with the costume on. I know it's missing boots, it's missing.
Yeah, but you can get that stuff.
I can get that stuff. But for $30 this goes to the Mego collection. Haven't bought one in it's been a while since I bought Mego collections. Let's look at the other stuff that I bought. The comic book haul. Nowhere near as big as last week, but still big.
Last week was out of control. Titans.
The new Teen Titans #3. This is key #1. It's the first appearance of the Fearsome Five.
Oh.
Simon, Mammoth, Gizmo, Shimmer, Dr. Light, and the origin of Raven and origin of Starfire. And it's the first mention of Trigon.
Nice.
Right? In a dollar bin.
Very cool.
Almost all these are dollar bins. Issue #4. Key #2. That's 2 keys and 2 issues. This is the first appearance and origin of Trigon.
Nice.
And the first appearance of Arula, who is Raven's mother.
That's a fairly big deal.
I think what I do after I buy these, I catalog. We have no idea when I buy that they're keys or not. And I catalog down. I'm like, that's Trigon. In the dollar bin? Like, I would think that would Trigon's first appearance be worth more money.
Trigon's a big deal, especially after the Teen Titans Go series. He was a big character.
Issue 11. So there you go. That's 3 issues. Milestone. Hardware #17. Cool. Always look for these. Never find them in dollar bins. Brian found these Warlords. I'm collecting them. 8. 9. This is key #3. This is the debut of his new costume.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, it's not as sexy as his other one.
You know, it's funny because I remember there was I was buying
10.
Warlords as a little kid, and then there would be like a gap.
Right.
You couldn't get it, and then I got another one. He had the new
29.
costume on, and I was like, "What is this?"
happened? 37. So I bought a bunch of Warlords. 51.
Yeah.
52. He looks just like Green Arrow.
Yeah, I mean, he looks exactly like Green Arrow.
54.
Oh, that's a good one next.
So that's my DC haul. Now let's do some Marvel stuff.
That first one.
This was in a $2 bin. Howard the Duck number 4.
That's great.
For $2.
For $2. That's fantastic.
So anytime I see them,
Howard the Duck is fantastic.
bought a couple of Thor. 361. That's Simonson art.
Yeah.
371. This is key number 4. It's the first appearance of the Justice of the Peace and Enforcer for the TVA.
Oh, okay, cool.
397. So I bought, I've been collecting that. Marvel Team Up. I didn't realize that that Hulk did a couple of issues. 104.
that's cool.
Hulk teams up with Kazar.
I thought Marvel Team Up was all Spider-Man.
Me too. No, he pops up in some issues, but here's a Spider-Man one.
Yep.
121. This is key number 5, the first appearance of Frogman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's lurking in the back over there.
Nice.
That's him. What If 35.
Good one.
What if Elektra had lived? This, maybe, Daredevil's big right now, right?
Yeah, pretty big.
What if this is the new series, 59. This is volume 2. What if Wolverine had joined Alpha Flight? This was the first series 1.
Yeah.
Series 2. Some Alpha Flight 53. 53. This is key number 6. This is the first Jim Lee art at Marvel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Jim Lee cover art at Marvel.
Wow.
$1 bin.
That's a big deal.
79. I thought so.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. Avengers 398. Again, just filling in some. The guy I bought these from is Plunder Palace. Most of my dollar bins come from him. So we're gonna go visit the store one of these days. He had a great selection and in really nice order where I could just go through my list as he had them. 307. X Factor 72. This is key number 7. This is the first appearance of Strong Guy, as referred to as Strong Guy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
What's his real name? I can't remember.
11.
I used to follow that comic. I used to love Strong Guy.
32.
He was the bodyguard for one of the other characters.
Dazzler, wasn't he?
For a while, but then somebody else too after that.
This is key number 8. This is the introduction of Mandapore. The island.
Oh, yeah.
Also grabbed a bunch of ROM. I'm going to finish this year.
ROM is a
hopefully.
great series.
6.
It's a great series.
12. With one of my favorite characters, Jack of Hearts, in there.
I have that cover. I have that
20.
right there. I have that at home.
Key number 9. The first appearance of Metis.
Ah, nice.
22. 28. Key number 10. The death of Starshine. That's 10 keys so far. 72.
Nice.
Here's one of the big ones I bought. Last week, if you watched, I bought Captain America 102 and 103 at a really good price. This week, the guy had 101.
Nice.
At a really good price. So all I need now is 100.
And you got them all?
Not all. 100's the first issue. 100's the first issue of this Captain America run.
What was it before that? Because I know they
probably one of the Tales to Astonish or one of the other ones.
Right.
371. So they would retitle it. So back in the days, they would take a title that was running for a while. They would retitle it so they would save on the postage.
Yeah.
If you created a new title, you had to pay the postage for it at the post office.
Yeah.
But if you just change it, you didn't have to pay it, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four 37. Ooh, it's an early one. The first appearance of Anel. She's Skrull royalty and Hulkling's mother.
Oh, okay, cool.
And this is the death of Morel. This is from Comic Lair. Comic Lair actually is the one who runs this convention. They run the New Egypt convention. Nice. The guy's name is Chad who runs it. I also bought 88. So that's 2 under 100 picked up at great prices. 223.
I have that one too. I don't know why I have that one.
That's a weird.
I have that one.
225.
That was probably like a supermarket pickup for me when I was a kid.
258. Doom's Claw.
Nice.
351.
Cool.
And here's the wall book that I bought.
Yeah, what is this?
It's kind of made for kids. It's like more like a story book, but it actually has comic book pages in it. It's from 1981. It's not published by Marvel. It's published by, it says Ideals. So it's something I've never seen before. That's why I picked it up.
Ideal, like the...
I don't know.
It's Ideals or
Ideals?
Oh, no. So it's not the toy company, Ideal.
So there you go. It was, I mean,
That's neat.
I'd never seen it before.
Yeah, I've never seen
it. It was
anything like
$10. It was on the wall. I was like, oh, what's that?
Yeah.
And the vendor explained to me again, that was also from Plunder Pals. He had that up on the wall.
Pretty cool.
So that was cool. I just wanted to run through, here's a list of some of the vendors that were at the show. So if you happen to come across them, let them know that you heard them from Collectors Convention.
Yeah,
so
we gave them a shout out.
here's a list of the vendors that appeared there. And also we took some of the stuff that they were giving out, upcoming shows. There's the awesome New Egypt show. We will be going to King Kong, one of my favorite shows. All comic books. This is a great comic book show. Here's the big one. John Costa, friend of the show.
Oh, Al Milgram's going to be there.
Yeah. His second one, last year was the first one. We did an interview with John. This is it. There's a whole bunch of other things coming up. Toy shows, Delaware Toy Show. This is a great convention that me and Cassidy went to last year. It benefits the Trenton High School. There's another one. So a bunch of shows we're going to be going to.
Nice.
There's the shows at the shore. We go to these too.
Cool.
Great people run these. We really like the people that run these conventions. And finally, the Jersey Shore one.
Nice.
People that run them are great people. So that's our haul. That's everything we did. Make sure you check out Plunder Palace and New Egypt if you get a chance to go there. We loaded up again. Comic Con Palooza continues.
We are marching on.
We sure are. Love what you collect.
Collect what you love.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.